welcome. I want to share something with you. Ta-da. I just pulled this book out. And because for some reason it kind of sparked my interest, how do you say it? It sparked my attention. It didn't, but it kind of caught my attention. And by now, I was, you know me, and you know, I will think or know that Christ is behind it, God is behind it, but, either way, like, this was a book, and I hadn't realized that I had this last year, and it's like, I've already told you guys on Facebook kind of what happened last year. I kind of put it out in thought and energy, and didn't really get to the actual physical telling of what I had to say about it. But one of the things was that I don't say it to be pitied or to get attention. Like, I don't want any of those things for it. And then I hadn't really known, because at that time it was kind of like I wasn't really gonna talk about it. I thought I wasn't gonna talk about it so often, and then every time I kind of, you know, learn something more, or draw from it, pretty much in the sense of, like, not that you can, but such a sense of, like, but so I don't really know maybe how to, like, phrase it. Then when I do want to share something, something more needs to be said about it, without having to say the whole thing again, because without mentioning it, I can't really talk about it. And I've kind of become a different person also, because I saw at one point, like, the whole YouTube world, like, is so much bigger than I kind of came from this, like, small world of where everybody seemed to be sharing. Well, everybody does seem to be sharing. And it's great because that way we got to learn from each other. However, I guess the main point is, because it felt like a sense of, this doesn't really belong in my life anymore. It's only, I don't, you know, need that memory. I don't want that memory in my life. It's kind of, I'm not shoving it away, but it's like, even the feeling is like, it makes me feel, eek. I don't know if cringe is, because we kind of cringe with embarrassment, but it's like my whole being just pulls together like me. And you know what it was, but that was the time. I don't know if I should now say it or not. At the time. And when somebody hears that for the first time, I didn't know, somehow the blame seems to come on the person rather than as in the people who would do something like that to you. But I had so much to say about it, and emotional abuse, for example. Oh, it's now I said it. Great. Well, I said it like bluntly, but because now because at the time I tried to find words for it, and I was like, you know, we don't really think necessarily of, we kind of wonder, you know, what to call it, and then you don't really have, we don't really think of it as abuse, as well, in the sense that the first thought, I kind of think something physical abuse, and like, you just, I feel like I messed this video up, like, it just came out the words, but that's how I now, these have been the words that I found, the best words that I've known for it. And you can't really go ahead and call it that a person is making allegations. Can't really call it allegations when it's not really that, you don't really know, it's like you don't really have a better word for it. So I would have said this really differently. I don't know why this came out this way. Oh man, I don't know if I should just make the video new. Maybe I just make the video new, and this could be like a making of. If I keep it. Let's start over. So I have this great book. Not great. So from the time I was I wanted to invent this word of suicidaling someone, because it's like you're making it suicide, driving them into it. But the cool news was, so I felt that this doesn't necessarily belong in my life. You know, I don't want to feel that way every time I kind of see this book or take it out. And there was one thing that had spoken to me and had meant something. Oh, what am I talking about? It's just personal. Like, it asks you all these questions of like goals, and it, because this person always tried to convince me that it's because I'm not positive, and they always try to like tell me be positive. And then I guess I'll try it. You know, this way, this kind of attempt where you think, oh, maybe this next thing will fix things. So I guess I wanted to think that maybe this book can kind of change my life. And I feel like, but now that my life has changed so much, thanks to God's grace, that now I get to utilize books where they do help me. Like, see what I mean? It's kind of the other way around. And this, though, I have felt, the more I think about it, the more I know that this belongs in the past. Because at first I wasn't really sure, but I guess we want to listen to our adults and like, oh, you know, what if we like missing? It's not really missing. It's a win if I don't need to feel that feeling. And whatever it did give me, and it's kind of like, and I thought maybe I can take this page out, which I've not already done, but. And I don't really have a paper cutter, but it says this, and it just fits so well into and it was so true at the time. It's the main part I want to tell you. I don't know why I talk about the other things first and like more, but that's exactly, and in retrospect, especially now that I get to see it, and let me do this now, because there's actually, it happens to be a blossom on the other side. So it says that, and it really was the time where that had happened, and yet, like, at the same time, you know, it was so bad. And words can't describe, but what I was gonna do is, but even in retrospect, even me at the time, if I look at it that way, and then, you know, the sun's shining, and you kind of hold it against the light, and I was going to tell you, it's like, when you look at it that way, the blossom already shines through, you know, like, it was already shining through, and it shines through. Well, if this curtain stays out of the way, so it's so cool, and I'm getting to keep, it's like I got to keep the best part of the book, and I get to take that with me and carry it on me. Well, I'll probably put it, I was thinking and you know, scrapbook, it's like, it's not really for scrap, it's not really a nice name for it, so I want to call my scrapbook Book of Beautiful Pictures or something, because it's meant to be the exact opposite. And I want to put in some foil or something in a folder, or you know how some called scrapbooks have like these sleeves, and then maybe I could put it in there, and I could place it in some, because I can't glue it in because I want to see the blossom. But it's like when you're blossoming or attempting to, and then, you know, literally being like kind of imprisoned in this bud, or held tight, was so painful. And then the birthing pains come to mind, but it's like, in retrospect, I could see the blossom was already there in the bud, you know. It was simply in process, in progress. Progress and process, you know. I don't know if I said that right, but the bud was already there. And this did mean something, and it does spark joy, as Marie Kondo would call it. So I was like looking at my books in the summer book too, but it did mean something at the time. It meant, well, a lot. Well, how much can it mean when you're in that predicament? But it meant still, and it still means a lot. This thing is flying in my face. But so yeah, I'm getting to keep, you know, it meant a lot. And so I'm getting to keep kind of the best part of the book, and now it's like easy to let go of the rest, and I really don't need to keep that feeling in my mind, alive in my mind. Pretty much, I said my mind already. I thought I was gonna say life, but in my mind, I don't have to keep that alive in my mind, and I don't have to keep the feeling in my life. Thus, see what I mean? Oops. And well, there's some other quotes. And I think one stood out to me at the time, but I wasn't sure if that's from this actual book or not. If it did come, because I remember something purple, but I don't want to confuse myself in doubting what I'm doing, so maybe I think the ideal way would be to close the book and let the book go now, or maybe, you know, destroy it. Like, since I feel it's quite personal, you just never know where something ends up. If you give it to even the bin. Truth be told, you just never know. You know, somebody who works at sorting, I don't know, but you just never know. But if somebody takes it, but I guess the main information, the beauty I wanted to share, and how are that the blossom already shown through and shines through. So true. And like, looking back, you were already that person trying to blossom and trying to get the bud to open. You were already that person who wanted that and didn't know how yet, or to do this, or to do that. And kind of feel for myself looking back that I was in that, you know. I don't really understand how anybody could be okay with doing that. Anyways, to a person. Like, I would have said things so differently, but it's only what if that was much better. But I'm not sure with a scissor, because if I don't cut it like 100% straight, like, I don't have a paper cutter, so if I tell myself for the time being, then it'll probably never like get to it. But if I want it straight, then I actually want it straight. I don't want it to be pseudo straight, I guess, where like your scissor tried to make it straight, but then actually you can see this. Like, I don't know, that's just me right now. I'm not saying it, but it's kind of, I like that it reminds me of where I took that from, and that I got to take the most beautiful part of the book with me. And I wonder if it's worth mentioning, or if it belongs in here. However, like, the really old me, like back in the day, I would kind of, I mean, it's also, I don't know if I got to say that, but it's not really like you are a different person. It's like a different version of, it's just, you changed. I think it's pretty self-explanatory, but, I used to, like, it's not trying to like savor everything out of the book out of like doubt that I don't know whether I can let this go, and then like, at the end you destroy the whole book, and actually now it brings you no joy because you destroy the book, and then you're letting things go anyway, and after years you find like actual scrap and think, why where does this come from, why do I still have that, and then you're like, oh no, oh yeah, and then you like have that memory, that great memory of like, I destroyed that. It's not the same, it's not that, and this is literally one single page of what that has really meant to me, and or this page does mean, and it's kind of interesting, and you know, even a single page, a simple, seemingly simple, it's really simple but really beautiful to me, and even if it was simply one page, that I took that away from the book, and you know, I'm thinking about it further now, even sort of not physically, but I guess, what do you say, spiritually, like, kind of meaning wise, it's like I took that away. Sometimes we read books and we literally took one statement away from it in our minds, and if that's what, I suppose if that's the one thing I took away from it, then that's the one thing I took away from it. At first I was like, yeah, I don't know, I was always kind of gonna finish it, and as you have seen, like, I started on the pages, I started like writing in it, and you know, it didn't do what I really wanted to do, and I'm not blaming the book, and I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm like, maybe I wasn't the person, this wasn't right, maybe we weren't right for each other, the book and me, aside from, you know, the one kind of area where we were right for each other, so to speak, was this page, and I took that away from it. So like, I'm alright now with releasing this book. I don't have to keep things in my life. The truth of the matter is, if I didn't finish it then, I'm even less likely to finish it now. And it's not like it needs to be finished. If it had done for me what I guess I thought I wanted it to do, and that was what God has done for me, so like, how can a book live up to that, you know? Does that make sense? So this is true, and I feel like this is phrased so wrong. This is what I'm talking about. Oh, quotes, maybe I should mention that, just quotes, when you read them, there really is such a deep truth to them, and a lot of times I find that I needed to evolve to the understanding thereof, and then I understand them to the point where I have evolved to the understanding. Excuse me, 1 second. But it's like, you know, also true. But also, it's like we had the saying in German, "Man ist, was man ist," and it means that we are what we eat. And it's like, and also it reminds me of like vegan and just letting, well, animals feel like. And I was gonna say people. And it's interesting with the self-care that I learned, and how I think in the older generations, older than me, they've been taught wrong that self-love and selfishness were the same thing, which they are not. And egotistical and selfish is completely different from love is a positive thing. And it extends to the next person. There were so many quotes. Like, quotes are so worth reading at times. So true. It might have been the other one, but this one really means a lot, and it still blossoms today, even, you know. It's giving even today. Whereas this one sort of, it's sort of like an end to, like, it tells you what can't happen on that video. And, you know, but an interesting book was fun. It gave me hope there for a second. And I'm not saying this particularly about this book, because, you know, it's simply, you know, different books can work differently for different people at different times, differently well. So this was actually a great idea of a book. So if anybody's looking for something like this. Also, another thing, I reduced my books, you know, almost to the point where I pushed myself maybe too far, maybe, or like at least a lot, where a part of me like misses the books. But also, I'm glad I have them to a manageable amount, but that would be a story for itself. But I was just thinking about, I had a lot of kind of, I guess, vintage decoration and crafts making and books, and I loved them so much, but I never actually read them. And it really, like, it was cool that I did not expect that of me, and I still did it. I guess that's the part that I took away from it in a positive sense. But the thing is, I have all reduced them to this one, and so I guess I just asked myself, like, why this one? It came to me that why, now I know, because when I saw the white bedding, and it was so beautiful, and it struck me as so beautiful, and I think I told you on Facebook, I didn't get to everything I wanted to say on here, but, and there was something else, the wedding dresses I hadn't understood until I saw the pillow, like why I was so in love with them. There's a whole other involvement around those, but now I know why, because it stands for innocence and purity, and I always loved white on white, white on beige. I was only just thinking back to a bride in a white wedding dress running through snow. Like, the imagery was so pretty, and it's like, it looks like, you know, well, I guess clarity, but clear, but also like, but purity and innocence, like, all in one picture. And I love them. There are a lot of beautiful photos here of, there are also instructions, so like it clarified as to like why I love this one the most, and why I liked it so much, because I actually never did any of those instructions, but I love looking at it, and like it means a lot. Now it means even more, and I get it. And yes, it's this color, which is interesting. I think it is, because it's not the fair, but I love how it's a different white. And aren't there like 50 words for white in on the North Pole or something? Don't Eskimos or Inuit or Inuits, I don't know how to pronounce it in English, sorry, but that they have like 50 words for white. Did I just embarrass myself that I didn't know which pole it was? But it holds true, and 50 words, like, for shade, it should be 50 shades of white, you know, it really should have been, actually, by the way. But isn't this so pretty? I love it. And now, like, I understand, and like, it's like it was already there, yet it didn't have the understanding of it, let alone the conscious understanding thereof. It's all here, and it's like encompassed in this book, not captured, it's not like it's not like imprisoned, but it's encompassed in me owning this book. No, it means so much to me. And I'll put it back in the shelf for a second. Place this where I would like it to be, somewhere. I wanted to put the foil around it. It's not really called foil, is it? Is it called clear foil? Yes, clear foil. Simply to protect this because it does mean a lot. And it's cool. I'm really also really surprised and happy though that it's like one page, because I remember the person I used to be and I wanted to like question everything. Maybe I should keep this too. And then like at the end of the day, I would have a whole bunch of pages and the book was destroyed and I still didn't. It didn't bring me joy. And this is like the not perfect version of it. Ideal version. I know there's no perfect, but love's pretty perfect, you know. So that's what I mean if I say perfect. Like, it's pretty good. And feeling this comfortable letting this go. So I've learned a lot. I've learned a lot about my own possessions and why I have them. You know, it's funny because it's me, and yet, you know, why are they in my life? My life, you know. So I have these, and if it begins, this is so fun and cool when you make these discoveries, and now it means a lot. It means a lot to me, and it means even more than it did before. But now I have, and it's like purposeful. Now I actually know why I have that, and now it's like I'm clear that it does belong into my life. So I have clarity. That's really good. Really useful. Inshallah, God, let this happen with all my books, because there was another thing. It was like here. But I was looking at it, but I don't know if I'm ready. I really love talking like so much, but I feel like I don't even know how to describe the feeling when you feel the difference that it's like it really is like maybe God guided you to. I'm saying maybe, but it's only because you know, or Christ like brought something to your attention, and like I felt there's a difference, but I felt honestly I'm like. Dark powers, like I don't really want any dark powers in my life, like way on this, but I might stop the video here, as I don't want to kind of, you know, lead by, I want to lead by a good example, and since I don't know yet what I will be doing with this book, and I guess I used to be a really big Tolkien fan, so, you know, a lot of things in German, a lot of things in English, and it's just like, them. But what they meant to me, what they used to mean to me, like what they have meant to me. Well, I'll try to stop later. Should I? Well, actually, I don't know. Another thing that came to my notice, like dark powers, the way one does. Is there something to the thought that it doesn't really matter if a set is complete or not? If something really, no, that was Marie Kondo, and she said that sparks joy. I don't know, but well, I've come a long way with these books, and it's really lovely to have this. So clear foil is good because then you can see both sides, and you can hold it against the light, and also be protected. I'd love to find one that size. I don't know if there are any out there. I just had a thought, and I don't want it to slip my mind, but thoughts are only just forming. I don't know if I'll be saying, I don't want to like ramble on. Is there something to that though, that just because something's a set doesn't mean we need to keep all of it? Like I want to lead by a good example. If I don't know what I'm doing yet, well, this one part of me is like Tolkien fan, you know. But so I thought about this, like, I don't know, it could be useful in the future. And I'm here, so maybe that's enough shared. If it comes to my mind, then I can share more. Or maybe this will be simply like the initiation for, you know, to spark your own realizations, and I hope it's inspiring for you guys too. Oh, this fits really well together. I was looking at this book. I have these, there's a story to it, but my grandma lent me this in German, and that's how I acquainted myself with it for the first time. And she gave me this book, and we had that, and the pearl, and it's quite heavy to carry. That I don't know. know if I should call it burden, but it weighed a lot. And the white with the innocence, like it kind of pearls the white and it kind of goes together, and that's cool. It's also like an innocent place over here, but it's so cool. Okay, it's not coming to my mind what I was just thinking, because I thought a thought was forming itself, beginning to form itself there. I wanted to share it, but like rather than before I start rambling on, I think I'm gonna finish this up. But I hope you liked it. Let me know if you did. I hope you loved it. I hope you loved it. And I'd love to know if you did. So feel free to let me know in the comment section or share this video if it helped you in your life. And you're very welcome to return next time, and I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching. Take good care of yourselves. Bye. Oh, by the way, lockdown has been ever more reopened-ish yesterday in Britain, so yay. So welcome back to the world, everybody who's, from Britain or who's in a similar situation. And I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.